நேரத்திலும் எங்களோடு கலந்து கொள்கிறதான ஒவ்வொருவரையும் முதலாவது நான் இயேசுவின் நாமத்துல வாழ்த்துகிறேன். விசேஷமாக இந்த நாளிலும் இந்த சம்பாஷணைக்கு உங்களுடைய நேரத்தை ஒதுக்கி எங்களோடு கலந்து கொள்கிறபடினால உங்களுக்கு எங்களுடைய நன்றிகளை நான் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். அதாவது வேகமாக ஒரு சிறிய அறிமுகத்தை நான் தர விரும்புகிறேன். ஏன் நாம் இதை செய்கிறோம், நம்முடைய தரிசனம் என்ன, நம்முடைய நோக்கம் என்ன. I want to, as we begin, I want to give a very quick introduction as to why we are doing what we are doing and the purpose and the vision behind it. நீங்கள் நன்றாய் அறிந்திருப்பீர்கள். அதாவது இந்த சம்பாஷணையின் அதாவது தலையங்கமானது நாம் எப்படி ஒரு தாக்கமுள்ள ஒரு கிறிஸ்தவனாய் மாறுவது. The topic for today's conversation is how can I be a Christian influencer. அதனால தேவன் நம்மை அழைத்திருக்கிறதான நம்முடைய ஒவ்வொரு வாழ்க்கையின் பகுதிகளிலே, அதாவது சபைக்குள்ளே மாத்திரமல்ல, சபையின் எல்லா இடங்களிலும், அது மாத்திரமல்ல வேலைத்தளத்திலும் தேவனை எப்படி நாம் ஆண்டவராய் கொண்டு தேவனுடைய நாமத்தை மகிமைப்படுத்துவது, இதை செய்வது. அதாவது YEA யூத் இவாஞ்சலிக்கல் அலையன்ஸ், இவர்கள் நீங்கள் எல்லாரும் அறிந்திருக்கலாம். NCEASL நேஷனல் கிறிஸ்டியன் இவாஞ்சலிக்கல் அலையன்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஸ்ரீலங்கா, அவர்களுடைய வாலிப பணியா இருக்கிறார்கள். அதனால இவர்களுடைய நோக்கம் என்னவென்றால், பெரிய தரிசனம் என்னவென்றால், அதாவது பரிபூர்ணமான சீசத்துவத்தை நம்முடைய சபைகளிலே காண வேண்டும். We want to see holistic discipleship, that as young people, that all of our lives, different parts of our lives serve Jesus, and it is contributing to extend God's kingdom wherever God has established us. அதனால எங்களுடைய நோக்கம் நம்முடைய வாழ்க்கையின் எல்லா பகுதிகளிலும் தேவனை நாம் மகிமைப்படுத்த வேண்டும். நீங்க ஏற்கனவே உங்களுடைய வீடியோவில் பார்த்து கொண்டிருப்பீங்க. எங்கள் மத்தியில 2 சிறப்பு விருந்தினர்கள் இருக்கிறார்கள். இவர்களை குறித்து நான் அறிமுகத்தை தர தேவையில்லை. எல்லாருமே அதாவது இவர்களை குறித்து நன்றாய் அறிந்திருக்கிறீங்க. அதாவது நம்முடைய கிறிஸ்தவ உலகத்துல இவர்கள் மிகவும் அறியப்பட்டவர்கள். So I think I don't have to give a big introduction, but just want to give a very personal welcome to both Keba and Isaac. It's so good to have both of you. We are excited for this evening, and we pray that God will use these conversations to just bring young people more close to him so that he can build his kingdom. அதனால வேகமாக ஃபர்ஸ்ட் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 30 செகண்ட் நான் தர விரும்புறேன். உங்களோட சத்தத்தை, உங்களோட குரலை கேட்க அநேகர் ஆசையா இருப்பாங்க. Just 30 seconds, something that you like about Sri Lanka, 2 or 3 things, and then you can say hi to the rest of the people. So Keba, would you like to start?
Yeah. Hi everyone. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very, very glad to be here. I've always loved Sri Lanka. I've loved the people of Sri Lanka. And more than anything, I've always loved the hospitality of the Sri Lankan people. Amazing people. And nothing also beats the food in Sri Lanka. I mean, we've had some really good food. So, and always I enjoyed the drive along I think it's Gaul Face Beach Road or something. I mean, it's something called that. But
yeah, Gaul Face.
Always, yeah, that's one of the most beautiful drives I think that I've had. Even in all my travel around the world, I think that's one of the most beautiful. I think Sri Lanka is a beautiful country, and Sri Lankans are beautiful people. So thank you for having me. And
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Isaac, would you like to?
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me and Keba, guys. It's a great pleasure for us to share whatever God has done in our lives, and especially about Sri Lanka. Like Keba said, it's got people with great hospitality. Like Sri Lanka la paakra hospitality engiyum paaka mudiyadhu. They are so loving, so kind people, and we love the nature. I mean, everything about Sri Lanka is so good. Everything's so fresh. I love the food. Like Keba said, the food is brilliant. And Gaul Face, like Keba said, what a beautiful place. And Keba is such a Sri Lanka is such a blessed place, and we are so privileged to be there once or twice. It's great, guys.
தேங்க்யூ. நன்றி உங்களுடைய கருத்துக்களுக்கு. இப்ப நாங்க வேகமாக, ஏன்னா எல்லாருமே எதிர்பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கிறது உங்கள்ட்ட கேள்வி கேட்கணும், உங்களோட அதாவது உங்களுடைய எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ், உங்களுடைய அனுபவங்களை குறித்து அவங்க கேட்கணும், ரொம்ப ஆவலா இருக்கிறாங்க. அதாவது நான் மீண்டும் எங்களுடைய நேயர்களுக்கு நான் ஞாபகப்படுத்த விரும்புவது, இவர்கள் இசை துறையில இருந்தாலும் இன்றைக்கு நாம் பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள போகிறதான காரியம், நம்முடைய சம்பாஷணை அதாவது இசையில இருக்கிறவர்களுக்கு மாத்திரமல்ல, அந்த துறையில இருக்கிறவர்களுக்கு மாத்திரமல்ல, அதாவது சாதாரணமாக இயேசு கிறிஸ்துவை அறிந்து கொண்ட நாம் எப்படி ஒரு தாக்கமுள்ள ஒரு கிறிஸ்தவனாய் மாறுவது. அதனால இது உங்களுக்கு நிச்சயமாக பிரயோஜனமாய் இருக்கும் என்பதுல எந்த சந்தேகமும் அல்ல. அதனால ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நான் முதலாவது அவங்களிடத்துல நீங்க அநேக நேரத்துல இவங்களுடைய அதாவது ஸ்டோரிஸ், அவருடைய கதைகளை நீங்க அறிஞ்சிருக்கலாம். பட் we want to do for the sake of people who are joining here for the first time. Keba, we would like you to start by sharing உங்களுடைய அதாவது இந்த பயணம், கிறிஸ்தவ பயணம், கர்த்தரோடு இருக்கிறதான அந்த உறவு எப்படி ஆரம்பிச்சிச்சு. அது ஒரு சம்பவமா இருக்கலாம், இல்லாட்டி ஒரு காலகட்டமா இருக்கலாம். And how foundational has that decision been in your journey? அதாவது அந்த தீர்மானமானது எவ்வளவு அடிப்படையானது, இன்றைக்கு நீங்கள் அடைந்திருக்கிறதான எல்லாவற்றுக்கும் அந்த தீர்மானம் எவ்வளவு அடிப்படையானது என்பதை நீங்க எங்களோட பகிர்ந்து கொள்ளலாம்.
Okay, so I grew up in a very strict strong Christian family, and சின்ன வயசுல இருந்து I've always heard about Jesus. My dad and mom daily we'll have family prayer, and I started playing music at a young age. So அப்பத்துல இருந்தே வந்து அம்மா அப்பா வந்து they'll ask me to play guitar for all of our family prayers and stuff. But in those initial years you just do what your parents say. But I think I came to a point when I was 14 and I attended a particular VBS, Vacation Bible School, where I really felt, at the time I really felt a real void in my heart. I felt just going on like this, and I felt like I felt the need for a relationship. And that void, it was just a simple prayer. It was just a simple prayer. I said, Jesus, I need you, and I welcome you into my heart. It was, I think, something as simple that. But from that moment, I knew that God was with me. And I think everybody has to come into that place where they make a decision to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And that relationship with Jesus Christ has been foundational for everything in my life. And one of the things நம்ம எல்லாரும் என்ன assume பண்றோம், that once we come into this relationship with Jesus Christ, we are all perfect people. No, we are perfect in Jesus Christ, but as humans we do make mistakes, and we are on a journey where we are growing. And I am so glad that I made that choice, because that choice of choosing to follow Jesus has been very, very foundational in my whole journey, in my whole career. And I'm so glad that even though I've heard Jesus all my life, I chose at a particular point to follow him. And I'm so glad, and it's been it is the best decision of my life.
Thank you. அதாவது எங்களுடைய நேயர்களுக்கு நான் ஞாபகப்படுத்த விரும்புகிற காரியம் என்னன்னா, நாங்க ஒரு கிறிஸ்தவ குடும்பத்துல வளர்ந்தாலும் அதாவது தனிப்பட்ட ஒரு தீர்மானம் அது ரொம்ப அவசியம். அது ரொம்பவே அவசியம். And Isaac, you can share your story, and I would like to just kind of add another question to Isaac. Have you ever thought about did I really commit to Jesus? Like, did Jesus come into my heart? Sometimes we would doubt at certain seasons. Have you kind of had such experience, following your decisions?
Yeah, like Keba சொன்ன மாதிரி ஜீசஸ் நம்ம அக்செப்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் நம்ம லைஃப் பெர்ஃபெக்ட் ஆயிரது இல்லை. அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்மளோட டியூட்டிஸ், நம்மளோட ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டிஸ் நிறைய இருக்கு. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி have you ever thought Jesus in my life? அப்படின்னா I've thought so many times when something goes bad, when I do something wrong, I'll ask myself, Jesus, are you really there in my life? எனக்கு ஏன் அப்படி நடந்துச்சு? Why failures? Why that? Why this? Why that? Are you still there in my life? But it all comes under the sovereignty of God. God's got a great plan in our life. அது வந்து நம்ம மெச்சூர்ட் ஆக அந்த அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் எனக்கு வந்துச்சு. லைக் யூ செட், அந்த சாய்ஸ் நம்ம கிறிஸ்டியன் ஃபேமிலியில பிறந்தாலும் இட்ஸ் அ பர்சனல் சாய்ஸ், பிகாஸ் காட் இஸ் அ காட் ஆஃப் ஈச் இண்டிவிஜுவல்ஸ். ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் தனித்தனியா we need to find a relationship with God. சில பேருக்கு ஒரு சிஸ்டர் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் மாதிரி காடை பார்ப்பாங்க, ஒருத்தவங்க ஃபாதர் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ல காட் பார்ப்பாங்க, ஒருத்தவங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ல காட் பார்ப்பாங்க. காட் இஸ் சோ யூனிக் டு எவ்ரி ஒன் ஆஃப் அஸ். நாட் எவ்ரிபடி can relate to God the same way like I do or like Keba do. So God is open for all kinds of relationship. When you just call into him, he is always there. So but it's definitely a personal choice, and like the word of God says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He will always be there with us no matter what. And the doubt irkalam, but this word and this promise will always be in my mind that God is always there with me. Yeah, blessing.
Thank you, Isaac. Thanks for affirming that and reminding all of us who are joining here. அதாவது எங்களோட கலந்து கொள்கிறதான ஒவ்வொருவருக்கும் நான் ஒரு சின்ன அப்டேட் ஒன்று தர விரும்புறேன். எனக்கு தெரியும் நிறைய பேர் நிறைய கேள்வி கேட்கணும்னு விரும்புறீங்க. ஓகே, ஆனா எங்களுடைய நோக்கத்தோடு நாங்க சில கேள்விகளை ஆயத்தப்படுத்தி இருக்கிறோம். உங்களுடைய கேள்விகளை அனுப்புங்க, எங்களுக்கு நேரம் இருந்தால் நாங்கள் அதை நிச்சயமாக அவர்களோடு பகிர்ந்து கொள்வோம். ஐ ஹோப் தட் நீங்க எல்லாம் அதை அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி கொள்வீங்க. Okay, so moving on to the next question, just on that personal level, on a daily basis, what are some of the things that you would do to grow in your relationship with the Lord? அதாவது உங்களுக்கும் ஆண்டவருக்கும் இருக்கிறதான அந்த தனிப்பட்ட உறவை நீங்க வளர்த்துக் கொள்வதற்கு சாதாரணமாக ஒவ்வொரு நாளும் நீங்க செய்யற சில காரியங்களை எங்களுடைய நேயர்களோடு you can share. Keba, do you like to?
Yeah. Actually, sometimes it gets really, really hard because of all the traveling and all the work that happens. But one of the constant things that I try to do is, because I drive a lot, I have these amazing worship playlists that I always put when I drive. And it's funny that that you may think this, but I think that my most personal time with God is in my car. And because I drive by myself and I find that's the best time to talk to him. And one thing about talking to God is I talk to him like a friend. I tell him, God, this is what I'm going through. I'm going here. This is my problem. So I talk to God on it's a very friend kind of thing. I tell him, this is what you, and that's my personal connect with God. So all the podcasts, I listen to a lot of my sermons in the car. I listen to podcasts. I have worship playlists. But even then, when I do get some time at home, I spend some time reading the Bible. But more so, I think because of a very scheduled kind of thing with travel and with all of that, I spend a lot of time. I think when I drive, that's when I really spend a lot of time talking to God.
Super. Thank you. Thanks a lot for sharing that. Isaac, would you like to?
Yeah, I'll just add to what Keba said. Lately I am just enjoying the presence of God in the car. It might be little funny, but yeah, it's just a close room. It's just you, and even when you say, even when you whisper, it is so clear and crisp inside the car. And like Keba said, it's a great place actually if you're traveling a lot. Like I always thought I need to get inside the room and talk to God. That's what my parents said before you go to school. Go to that room, go face the wall, and just talk to God. Ask the Lord's help for that day. So I always thought God is always there in my prayer room. He's not there anywhere else. So that was there. But when I grew up, when I started experiencing God in a different way, I knew that He talks to us a lot more. Like Keba said, like me talking to God, definitely yes, that's a responsibility of everyone. We need to seek His presence. We need to talk to Him. But lately I felt He is talking to me more. He wants to communicate Himself to me through songs. Songs are just amazing. You will get answers for a lot of things in just one line. Songs are great, and God will talk to us through friends. God will talk to us through divine connections, through the persons that we meet. So God is on the move in your life through a lot of things. Like Keba said, car is definitely a great place. Probably it'll be different experience for the others. I've heard big preachers and speakers. They've said God has spoken to me when I was traveling on a flight. God has told me a prophecy when I was traveling in a flight. So God is just there and He wants to talk to us.
Thank you. நன்றி. அதாவது எங்களுடைய நேயர்களுக்கு நான் ஞாபகப்படுத்துறது இந்த நேரத்துல என்னன்னா, அதாவது கர்த்தர் பேசுறாரா என்ற கேள்வி இல்ல, கர்த்தர் பேசுறத நம்ம கேட்கிறோமா என்றதுதான் கேள்வி. அதாவது we just need to be open. ஆண்டவர் வித்தியாசமான சேனல்ஸ் மூலமா எங்களுடைய, அதாவது அவங்க ரெண்டு பேருமே ஷேர் பண்ண மாதிரி ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் மூலமா எங்களோட பேசுவார், சில இடத்துல சாங்ஸ் மூலமா பேசுவார், நாங்க பார்க்கிற சில காட்சிகள் மூலமா எங்களோட பேசுவார். அதனால I think God is speaking, always speaking to His children. It's just that are we open to different channels, hearing Him. Nalladhu, Isaac, I would like to ask this next question from you. அடுத்தது உங்கள்ட்ட நான் அந்த கேள்வியை கேட்க விரும்புறேன். We just spoke about on a personal level, but now speaking about family, அதாவது எங்களுடைய அதாவது பெற்றோர், அதே நேரத்துல எங்களுடைய லைஃப் பார்ட்னர்ஸ், இவங்க 2 பேருமே எங்களுடைய வாழ்க்கையில மிக முக்கியமான நபர்கள். அதனால நம்ம ஒரு அதாவது கரியர் சாய்ஸ் எடுக்கும் பொழுது, உதாரணத்திற்கு மியூசிக், நீங்க அந்த சாய்ஸை அதாவது ஒரு கரியரா சூஸ் பண்ணும் பொழுது how did you communicate? அவங்களுக்கு எப்படி நீங்க தெரியப்படுத்துனீங்க? What did they expect? Did you have any challenges, or was it just easy? Was it okay? What were their expectations? How did you communicate that? Could you just speak on that?
Okay, my parents were all government employees back here in India. So government employee பாத்தீங்கன்னா peer pressure ரொம்ப அதிகமா இருக்கும். ஏன்னா அந்த government staff எல்லாம் will be talking, what's your son doing, what's my daughter doing, my daughter's a doctor, what is your son, அந்த மாதிரி. So எங்களுடைய parents ஓட மைண்ட் செட் வந்து you have to study, you have to do engineering or do be a doctor, இந்த மாதிரியே மைண்ட் செட் இருந்துச்சு. So music was totally out of the our ideas and like the career path கிடையாது actually. They wanted me to music, definitely it's there, you play in church, that's great அப்படினு சொல்லுனாங்க. But as I grew up, like Keba, I also did engineering, Keba did engineering, we did engineering. And the course time appo kuda probably during the course only probably K would have thought that I can take up music. And the journey la you will get to know that God is opening doors for me. Similarly, it was tough time for me. ஏனா எங்க வீட்ல வந்து அவ்வளவா சொல்லல. Like you said, my wife only actually said, why not take a decision? We were not married back then. It was like probably a year before my marriage. So she said, see, anybody can be an engineer, anybody can be a doctor, but it's a unique thing. Why you want to take music so lightly? Just take a risk. And actually Keba has helped me a lot. Actually, when I started up, he has told to a lot of people about me, and I should definitely tell about that. So on the time la vandu it was actually a tough choice. Sometimes we feel life is all about our own choices. We always thought, because it's my life, I need to make choices nenikirom. Sometimes our choices will be good and sometimes our choices will be bad. But I always believe that God will talk to us through other people also. And definitely like Keba will always say about when he shares his testimony, he'll say about obeying his parents for what he is right now. Definitely, and that is one of the greatest things that God has put in a Christian's life, that being submissive to your parents and listening to them. அது வந்து இது கிறிஸ்டியன் லைஃப் ஸ்டைல்ல அது வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியமான ஒரு பங்கா இருக்குது. Like listen to God's voice, and after that listen to your parents and obey your parents. Only one conditional blessing in the Bible is there, that is உன் வாழ்நாள் நீடித்திருக்கிற உன் தகப்பனையும் தாயும் கனம் பண்ணு. That's the only conditional blessing. Nothing else is conditional. So listening to parents are very good. Sometimes நமக்கு ஆசை வந்து நான் ஒரு ஆக்ட்ரஸ் ஆகணும், சம்டைம் நம்மளுடைய ஆசை வந்து நான் வந்து காமெடியன் ஆகணும் அப்படின்னு பேரண்ட்ஸ் சொல்லுவாங்க. But when you obey whatever parents say, avanga valiyave a door will open, and probably you will get to the whatever desires that we have, and the earthukku nama polam from their door. So definitely listen to parents. Nammaloda self choices irundhalum God will definitely speak through our parents. Adu vandu romba mukkiyam or Christian life la.
Thank you. Thanks, Isaac. Thanks for affirming that again.
Yeah.
Keba, I would like to first hear your story also. உங்களுடைய கதை, உங்களுடைய அனுபவத்தை நான் கேட்க விரும்புறேன். But with that, yeah, go ahead, please.
No, okay. So I wanted to study music after school, because after school I thought, I knew I could play a little bit music, so I wanted to study music. But like most Indian parents, my parents said, you have to get an engineering degree and you have to go to Chennai. And I'm just thinking today, if I hadn't honored that decision of listening to them, I wouldn't be where I am today. That choice of just listening to them, and my parents had only one condition: finish engineering and then do whatever you want. Just get that degree, and the degree mattu vaangire, then you do whatever you want, we won't ask you. And it was a struggle for me, because I came to India, I started studying in engineering. By my 3rd year, I started doing music. I was already recording. 4th year of college, I didn't have attendance. Because I was recording and playing a lot of shows. I didn't have attendance. My HOD walks into class and looks at my face and tells me, Keba, you're going to sit for one more year. And then just only one word that my parents said came to my mind: finish engineering, do whatever you want. So after that, for 3 months, I never miss college for one day. I will somehow make it to college. And during that whole period, I found grace from my teachers. I didn't have enough percentage of attendance, but some teachers were so kind to me. They boosted my percentage. And I was able to finish my engineering. And also, just by respecting my parents, I'm just saying my parents never thought of music as a career. And God showed ways how to show to them that music was an okay career for me. I didn't have to convince them. Like, God made other people go tell my parents, we think Keba is doing a great job. So I didn't have to convince my parents. God finds other ways to convince, and that's one of the coolest things in this journey. And now my parents are just super supportive and they just love everything. So it's good.
Super. So guys, I don't think whether you will also find grace like Keba found with his teachers, but definitely, God will honor. One of the things that I think is coming out very clearly is that if God has a purpose for you to take up music in your life, I think definitely God will, in his great, sovereignty, he will get you there. அதனால நம்முடைய பெற்றோர் அவருங்க அதாவது சில நேரத்துல நமக்கு சில காரியங்கள் சொல்லும் பொழுது அவங்கள அந்த அதாவது அவங்களுடைய எதிர்பார்ப்பை நாங்க நிறைவேற்றி அவங்களை கனப்படுத்துவதுல எங்களுக்கு நிச்சயமா ஒரு பலன் இருக்கிறதுல எந்த சந்தேகமும் அல்ல. The next question is on your vision. Now you have achieved many things, okay, but when you started what was your desire? You wouldn't have thought about, this is my vision, but what was in your mind? What was your vision, compared to what you have reached now? இன்றைக்கு நீங்க அடைஞ்சிருக்கிற அநேக காரியங்களை வச்சு பார்க்கும் பொழுது நீங்க ஆரம்பிக்கும் பொழுது உங்களுடைய தரிசனம் என்னவா இருந்தது? நீங்கள் ஆரம்பிக்கும் பொழுது ஆண்டவருக்காக நீங்க ஒரு காரியத்தை இல்லாட்டி பர்சனலா இந்த மியூசிக் ஒரு கரியரா சூஸ் பண்ணும் பொழுது what was your vision? Did you have something like that? Keba, you can.
Yeah. So I think initially when I started my career, I think it wasn't very mission focused. It was very, where can I get in my career? I just want to become a better musician. I want to play for the next big director. I want to play this, play that. But now, coming to where I am now, after you taste everything, after you see a little bit of everything, you will realize that there is no greater purpose than the kingdom purpose in your life. I think the kingdom purpose is the greatest purpose. And for me, my vision right now is just, I feel like I want to help raise a generation which can just move one step closer to God. That's just the aim, if we can just all move one step closer to God. And that's all that I like. That's my vision right now. And all the worldly desires, in your career, fame, money, all of it means nothing. For me, there is no greater joy than to come back on a Sunday and worship and play with my worship band, Sometimes not even play, just sit in the church pew and just be able to quietly worship, that is such a great blessing.
So good to actually hear this from you guys. அதாவது உங்களிடத்துல இருந்து இதை கேட்பதை குறித்து நான் மிக மிக சந்தோஷப்படுறேன். Isaac, you also, when you started, you would have had a different vision. But as Keba shared, eventually that kind of grew or that was processed. What are some of the things that kind of altered your vision, you would say?
Altered the vision. Like Keba said, when we start our careers, it is not actually vision driven. It was like more of a passion driven thing. I want to learn music. I want to get better with music, because music, I don't know about the other profession. Music is you can't take music as a career. Even though music is a career, you can't see music as a career. It is a totally different world where you get in. You want to just dive in. You just want to learn so much. You want to enjoy music. And apart from that, definitely it needs to pay your bills also. That's where it becomes your career. So when I got into music, it was never vision driven. Then slowly I started messing up a lot of things in my life. Then I was coming back to God. Then I said, I am not happy with anything that I do. I think that this will give me happiness. I think that that will give me happiness. But I never found happiness. Everything had some hidden agenda somewhere or the other, whether it's my fault or whether it's my mistake. Nothing gave me like that real happiness. And there was no purpose. Am I making someone laugh? No. Am I entertaining anyone properly? No. Nothing I was doing. Then this purpose thing actually came into my heart. See, the world that we live in is so temporary. Probably today one comedian died in Chennai. He's a very famous comedian. He died in Chennai. I don't know how long I'm going to live in this world, but what am I going to do with my life? There is going to be only one Keba. There is going to be only one Isaac. But what am I going to do with this life? Am I going to earn money? Or then that vision thing came. I need to impact at least one guy. I don't want to conquer this whole world, but I just want to, like Keba said, I just want to bring people just one step closer to God. And I wanted to tell things to them, whatever mistakes that I did, because unlearning is such a big process. Learning is very easy, but unlearning is such a big thing. So I thought I'll say whatever mistakes that I have done, so they can save some time, save some energy, and use it for the kingdom purpose. So it becomes a vision. I believe in the journey of life. Everybody's got a journey, and the journey is the most sweetest thing. We have to embrace the journey. The journey can have ups and downs, but when we embrace the journey, because God is so pleased with the journey, God is so pleased with everybody's journey. He is there in our journey. So the vision God will plant inside every one of us, and that will be very unique.
Thank you. அதாவது இதுல இருந்து நாம பார்க்கிறது என்னன்னா, நம்முடைய தரிசனம், அதாவது நமக்கு ஆண்டவர் தந்திருக்கிறதான அந்த தரிசனம், அந்த வாழ்க்கை நோக்கம் வந்து தேவனுடைய ராஜ்யத்தோட எப்படி சம்பந்தப்பட்டிருக்குது, அதே நேரத்துல மக்களோட எப்படி சம்பந்தப்பட்டிருக்கு. That's the most important thing. Is it helping people? How is it connected to people? I think I kind of remember someone said that your purpose is always connect to people. ஆண்டவர் யோசேப்புக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்டா தரிசனத்தை கொடுக்கும் பொழுது, it was all about him. He thought he was sent there so that he will become the second best person. But I think God has put him there. In fact, we see the story very clearly. அதாவது ஆண்டவர் அவரை போடுறதுக்கு காரணமே யாக்கோபுடைய குடும்பத்தை ஆண்டவர் உயர்த்தும்படியாக. So it's always about people. I know most of you have been sending in questions. We will take up those questions probably in the last couple of minutes. But going now to our next question. Now here, most of you want us to ask some of the controversial questions. Anyway, talking about the Tamil gospel industry, Isaac, I would like you to start on this. Do you think, is it enough for people who are involved in music? அதாவது இசை துறையில இல்லாவிட்டால் இசையை ஒரு வேலையாக செய்து கொண்டிருக்கிற ஒரு கிறிஸ்தவ வாலிபனுக்கு, அதாவது கிறிஸ்தவ இசை உலகத்திலே மாத்திரம் வேலை செய்தா போதுமா, இல்லாட்டி is it enough for him to survive? அதாவது அவருக்கு போதுமான அளவு வருமானமோ, போதுமான அளவு அவருடைய தேவைகள் சந்திக்கப்பட அது போதுமா? What are the challenges if you think the other way? அதாவது அவர் சந்திக்க கூடியதான சில சவால்கள். I think, am I clear with my question?
Yeah. The thing is, it's a personal choice, Blessing. See, doing just gospel music and taking up gospel music as a career is a personal choice. Personal choice வந்து எது வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம். You can be an artist. Artist is out of the scene. You can't find an artist like Leonardo da Vinci right now. Even if you are so talented like Leonardo da Vinci, you can't earn money just to pay your rent. You can be talented as him. Just imagine he living right now. In the காலகட்டத்துல லியோனார்டோ டா வின்சி வாழ்ந்தார்னா, he is the greatest artist. ஆனா அவர் வந்து அவருடைய குடும்பத்தை காப்பாற்ற முடியுமானா ரொம்ப டவுட். Okay, it's a personal choice. It is the love for the art. Okay, definitely it's a love for the art and love for everything that you do. When you have the love for the art and when you love the thing that you do, you should not be bothered about what comes after that. You have to embrace that. Okay, this is the first point. And coming back to gospel, being just a gospel musician, you can be a doctor because the need for the doctor is so much in this world. ஏன்னா அவ்வளோ sick patients இருக்காங்க. ஆனா when you take gospel music ன்னு பார்த்துட்டா, you can actually number and name the people who are involved in gospel industry. Probably when you think of that, you can actually number and name them. ஏன்னா அவ்வளோ கம்மியா தான் இருக்கிறாங்க. ஆனா இப்போ a lot of youngsters are taking up music, taking up in keyboards and guitars. Now everybody's talented. Everybody's like really good. எல்லாருக்கும் அந்த எங்க டைம்ல நாங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண அந்த ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இப்ப கிடைக்குமானா ரொம்ப டவுட்ஃபுல். For to make a living, to make a career out of it is very hard thing. So I always say taking up gospel music is a brilliant idea, it's a great idea, it's a great commitment. God will definitely honor whatever commitment that you do, not necessarily gospel music, any commitment that you do towards kingdom of God, God is going to honor that. So ana enna you have to do a lot more because you want to have a good social living na. Just for you to buy one good instrument, it is very hard if you're going to do just gospel music. And gospel music la you can't demand. Keba must be knowing நம்ம காசு கேட்க முடியாது. It'll be so bad if you're going to ask, I am a gospel musician, எனக்கு காசு கொடு அப்படின்னா, it'll be like we have all the right to ask, but it won't be right. You get my point, no? Then you're going to see that as the profession. It should be passion. It should be more of a volunteering, and that's why they call it as offering. Gospel musicians, they give it as offering. They don't give it as payment. Okay, but you can take, when you are into gospel scene, you can do a lot more. You can like get into video editing. You can do into video shooting. You can be an executive producer. There are a lot of things just involved with the kingdom work alone. Like apart from direct ministry, you can do a lot other things. Andamari, if you are involved, career, taking up like a gospel little career edukkiradhu, it will be easy. But for me, taking up just gospel music, probably 5 can survive. Out of 500, 5 will do good. Probably 500 will be talented, but only 5 will be doing great because of the opportunity and the time they get into. So my thing is that work should be for you to sustain your life, and your heart should be towards music. That is your time, that is your talent, that is your amount of energy that you can give for the Lord. So money or the resources should not be always be your heart. Like Keba said in other webinar, he said art is different, heart is different. So idu அந்த கேட்டகரியில தான் விழும். So it's actually a very thin line, but this is what I felt. Maybe Keba can answer on that also.
ஆமா, இப்போ I'll just tell what I'm seeing is happening. A lot of people make the commitment to do gospel music. If you take the commitment to do gospel music, then you trust God for the resources. But what I'm seeing happening is they take up gospel music, but then they start to complain. They don't trust God. They're like, in the gospel music inga kaase illa idu illa, look at my life, I'm not able to do this. You don't trust the music, you trust God for your resources, because you trust God that he will honor your commitment. So because the world is watching, everybody around you is watching, so you need to honor God with your commitment. So what we see often happens, one year they'll do gospel music, then 1 year they'll come here, then 1 year they'll go back. That it's just, so whatever commitment you make, honor your commitment, because God honors commitment. So that's something that I've been noticing.
Thank you, Keba. And I would like to ask another follow-up on that, and this is to Keba. Adavadhu you have played with some greats, okay? And you would have received good comments and negative comments, but handling both of them, criticisms but also compliments, அதாவது ரெண்டு பக்கமும் நல்லதும் சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க, அவங்களுடைய சொந்த ஒப்பீனியனும் சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. Like I think Isaac made it very clear that that was a personal choice. I think that brings a lot of understanding. அதாவது we don't have to argue unnecessarily. அதாவது நம்முடைய சொந்த தீர்மானம் என்பது. But coming back to the question, அவர்களோடு நீங்க வேலை செய்யும் பொழுது how were you challenged? Okay, how were you challenged? But on the other hand, how were you helped? We want to have that balance, because definitely there are certain things that you have learned from them. Their standards, but how have you been challenged in your testimony, in your witnessing?
Okay. So one of the things that is very easy to process is compliments. இப்போ யாராச்சும் வந்து if they say a good thing about you, very easy to process. You can thank them back. You can say you're welcome. But in terms of the glory, it's better to direct it upwards. But criticism is a very interesting thing. One thing that I have learned personally about criticism is I try to keep silent, and I've always learned people can have a judgment about you without not even meeting you, without not knowing who you are. But I think my life will speak for who I am. And it might not speak for who I am today. It might not speak for who I am in 5 years, but eventually you will know, And some of the things that I've learned by working outside the gospel industry, is there is a sense of professionalism. And this I really have to say, because I know that in churches, I know in churches, if the worship service is at 7, musicians will walk in 7:10, 7:15, 7:20. But in a setting, and if I'm playing for a concert for Rahman, if rehearsal is at 7, everybody's there at 6:30. Everybody. So it's so funny that when somebody can honor that commitment for entertainment, for the purpose of entertainment, how much more should we value time when it comes to God? So I've learned, number one, the value of time by working outside. Number two, I've learned the value of hard work, how hard work is appreciated. Three, I've also learned just skills, how to grow in skills. See, there are so many talented musicians out there who have just helped me. I try to get inspiration from each and everybody. So every time I watch somebody, there's so many things that I learn, which I can come and help share with some of my worship team. This is how they did it. This is the technical aspect, which I would have not learned anywhere else. So there is so much to learn, but there are so many things also to stay away from, for which you just need the help of the Holy Spirit. That sometimes you walk into a conversation where they're just talking about something that doesn't bring glory to God, and you really need to know how to just walk away from that situation. So I think we just need the help of the Holy Spirit every time to make the right choices and to make the wrong choices.
Okay. I don't know whether I'm pushing you to a corner, but I would like to hear a situation where you kind of had to say no for certain things because of your commitment to Jesus. Kind of a story or a moment would really bless us. Yeah.
I have a very good story, actually. Now, I used to play for a band, and incredible band. It's been one of my greatest musical learning experiences. I learned the most musically when I used to play for that band. Now, first on the band joined பண்ணும்போது, they were singing some lyrics, and it was in Sanskrit. And then for some time I was asking them, Ennada, what is the meaning of these lyrics? They were saying it's about the earth, it's about the wind, it's about fire, And then I was playing for it for a while, and I was learning so much musically. One day my church pastor pulled me up and he said, Keba, do you know the meaning of this song? And I was like, no, I have no idea. And he was like, this is actually bringing glory to some other God. And at that point in my career, I was learning so much, and I had to give up on some friendships, some really good friendships. And for the sake of the gospel, for the sake of what you believe in, sometimes you'll have to give up friendships, you'll have to give up money, you'll have to give up a little bit of career. And at the end of the day, you can realize you can give up anything if it's for Jesus. You can give up all the way till your life if it is for Jesus. So I think it is important to be also able to submit under authority, have a good mentorship under a pastor, and be accountable to someone. And I could have easily said, you have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm so glad I did that, because it really shaped who I am today. So I'm very, very glad.
Thank you. Thanks, Keba. அதாவது எல்லாருமே கேட்டுட்டு இருந்தீங்க, how are they coping with criticism? So there you go. When it's time to keep silent, அதாவது அமைதியா இருந்தாலே காலம் அதுக்கு பதில் சொல்லும். அதனால நீங்க ரொம்ப worry பண்ண தேவையில்ல. They have put it very simple. And I think நாங்க இந்த இடத்துல டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். அதாவது அவர்களோடு நாங்க பிளே பண்ணும் பொழுது கிறிஸ்தவ உலகத்தில் மாத்திரமல்ல, எங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கிற எல்லா ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ்ல நாங்க இன்வால்வ் பண்ணப்படும் பொழுது we are learning something. There is the good side, but they are also saying no. Just now you heard from Keba, அதாவது அவர்களும் அநேக காரியங்களுக்கு இல்லைன்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. There is a cost that they are also paying. So we are not pushing anything. We are just discussing personal choices. So thank you so much. I think the next question would be, how, with the calling that we have received, how are we sharing Jesus? அதாவது ஒவ்வொரு தேவனுடைய பிள்ளைக்கும் தேவனை குறிச்சு, அதாவது ஆண்டவருடைய அன்பை குறிச்சு சொல்வது நம்முடைய கடமையா இருக்குது. So how have you been able, personally working with non-Christians? Sometimes it would be something that you have done for them and then they would ask them, அதாவது சில காரியத்தை நீங்க செஞ்சு அவங்க கொஞ்சம் வியந்திருப்பாங்க, கொஞ்சம் சர்ப்ரைஸ் ஆயிருப்பாங்க. Then you would have had a moment to share something. Is there anything like from each one of you? A story would be a better answer to this.
Isaac, you go first.
Isaac.
இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய இன்சிடென்ட் இருக்கு. ஆக்சுவலா I'll say a couple of things. நான் வந்து when I was studying in college, என்னோட roommates வந்து they were 2 Hindu friends and 1 Muslim friend. So நான் வந்து அந்த ரூம்குள்ள வரப்போ உடனே, see, I'll be very frank, these guys will be drinking, they'll be smoking in my room. So I can't be saying, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm super holy, only the Spirit of God should move, not the cigarette smoke should not move. I can't say all these things. First வந்து கிறிஸ்டியன்ஸ் வந்து நம்ம நிறைய காட் பேரை சொல்லி நம்ம ஹேட் பண்றதுக்கு நிறைய ரீசன் கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டோம். சி, காட் சொல்லியிருக்கிறாரு நம்ம நேசிக்கணும்னு. இந்த கல்ச்சர்ல இப்ப வாழ்ற டைம்ஸ்லயும் கூட சேம் ரூல் தான், சேம் பைபிள் வேர்ட் அண்ட் சேம் காட் அண்ட் சேம் வேர்ஸ். இட்ஸ் எவ்ரிதிங் ரிவால்வ்ஸ் அரவுண்ட் லவ். அ கிறிஸ்டியன் ஷுட் ஹேவ் லவ். அதனால நான் இப்போ வந்து ஐ ஆல்வேஸ் ஃபீல் ஐ ஷுட் நாட் ஹேட் எனி ஒன் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் மை கால் அண்ட் பிகாஸ் ஹூ ஜீசஸ் இஸ். ஸோ நான் போறப்ப என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, டக்குன்னு அவங்க சிகரெட் எடுத்துட்டு வெளியே போயிடுவாங்க. ஸோ அவங்க ரூம்ல ஸ்மோக் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, வெளியே போயிடுவாங்க. அண்ட் தேல் பி டாக்கிங் ரப்பிஷ் ஸ்டஃப். நான் ரூமுக்கு போனதுக்கு அப்புறம் அதெல்லாம் பாஸ் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. எதுக்காக பாஸ் பண்றாங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது, எதுக்காக நான் ரூம் போறப்போ சிகரெட் எடுத்துட்டு வெளியே போறாங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது. ஸோ ஐ தாட், சரி நான் பெருசா எதுவுமே பண்ணல. ஐ டிடன்ட் சே ஜீசஸ் இஸ் தி லார்ட், ஹி இஸ் கமிங் சூன், கெட் ப்ரிப்பேர்ட், எதுவுமே நான் சொல்லல. ஐ எம் ஜஸ்ட் பீயிங் மை செல்ஃப். ஐ டோன்ட் நோ வாட், ஐ எம் ஸ்டில் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் வித் தெம், ஐ டாக் டு தெம். ஆனா சம்திங் கிரைஸ்ட் விதின் மீன் சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, நம்ம பெருசா எதுவுமே பண்ண வேணாம், நமக்குள்ள இருக்கிற அந்த கிரைஸ்ட் வந்து ஹீல் கம் அவுட் ஆஃப் சம்திங், ஹீ கேன் கம் அவுட் ஆஃப் அ ஜெஸ்டர் ஆர் சம்திங். இது ஒன் இன்சிடென்ட். அதுக்கப்புறம் ஐ வாஸ் பார்ட் ஆஃப் ஒன் செக்யூலர் பேண்ட், ஐ வாஸ் பிளேயிங் ஃபார் திஸ் பேண்ட். ஸோ அந்த பாட்டுல வந்து ஒரு கஞ்சா பத்தின ஒரு சாங் இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ she wanted to sing that song. It was about marijuana. So that is a famous song. She wanted to sing. The moment she saw my face, she's like, okay, check this song, Isaac is there. So she was ready to give up on her favorite song, that's crowd favorite also. She wanted to give up the song just because of me. She can very well change the keyboard player. That's very easy thing. The easiest thing is that to change the keyboard player. Ana, she chucked off that song. இதெல்லாம் வந்து வெரி ஸ்மால் திங்ஸ். இதுதான் வந்து கிரைஸ்ட் ஆக்சுவலி வாண்ட்ஸ் அஸ் ஃப்ரம் அஸ். எல்லாருமே பாஸ்டர் கிடையாது அண்ட் எல்லாருக்குமே வந்து இவாஞ்சலிக்கல் காலிங் இல்ல. இவாஞ்சலிக்கல் காலிங்கா இருக்கிறப்போ கிறிஸ்டியன் கிரௌடுக்கு காட் இஸ் லவ்னு ப்ரீச் பண்றது ரொம்ப ஈஸி. இஃப் யூ ஆர் இன் சர்ச், ஐ கேன் பி த பெஸ்ட் ப்ரீச்சர் because everybody will accept what I say. But when I go out, nobody will accept what I say. So angada comes challenge. Angada I always honor Keba's call. Actually, it is very easy to preach in the church, but it's very hard to preach outside the church. இப்போ எல்லாரும் என்ன நினைக்கிறாங்க, சர்ச்ல மட்டும் தான் preach பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறாங்க. ஆனா everybody's call is very different. So this is how you actually bring out God in உனக்குள்ள இருக்கிற அந்த ஆண்டவரை நீ இப்படித்தான் வெளியே கொண்டு வரலாம். And these are the things that people started seeing from us also. Even Keba would have had a lot of experience like this, definitely.
Now I'll share one story.
Yeah.
I play for their band. So அது தெரியல, அது வந்து from the first moment we started meeting, ஸ்டேஜ் போறதுக்கு முன்னாடி ப்ரேயர் பண்ண சொல்லுவாங்க. And for some reason they asked me to pray. I don't know why. I have no clue, but I'll pray whatever. I'll say, Father God, we've come here, அதெல்லாம் நான் சொல்லிடுவேன். And I don't know what it is. Sid sometimes he'll just message me and be like, Macha, just pray for me. Just something as simple as that. Another example I'll tell you is, for example, when I play with some big bands, they'll say things like, it's very difficult being there. You know what they'll say? They'll say things like, see, for this artist, we are playing with this artist now. He can bring 50,000 people. Do you think your Jesus can bring 50,000? And the many things they'll tell me. And in those moments, there will be one boiling anger within me. But, you know, I'll just calm. I'll just be calm and I'll be like, God will one day, you know, show what's the right thing. You know, God will one day open their eyes. And a lot of times we have to face these kind of things. There have been many situations where I've played in a band where suddenly one huge image of an idol or something will come up. And like massive LED, we will have no idea what the visual is for the song. And we'll have rehearsed it. There will be one massive idol will be there. Then I'll just text the guy after the show and I'll be like, I'm sorry, man, I can't do this anymore. And they have respected that decision. They have really respected it, and they that song alone they took out from the set list. See, all this will happen, and there'll be some. Now when I go and play for them, they'll be like, "Vandarkanda, church boy, vandarka," you know, and the mari. But those are all things that is nothing, you know. That is for the sake of Christ, we can do anything. I mean, we have to be able to face anything. So
Yeah.
There are lots of stories. I can go on and I can start sharing a lot of stories, but then a lot of names will come out. But this is just this is just the basic idea. Yeah, I think we are called to show love. We are just called to show love, love God, love people. Our lives should radiate love, and when people see that love, they will automatically be drawn to us. When they are drawn to us, we show them God. Simple.
Yeah.
தேங்க்யூ. அதாவது இந்த நாள்ல எங்களோட இணைந்திருக்கிற ஒவ்வொருவருக்கும் it's clear that you don't have to take it as a mandate and then the first day that you see your colleagues at the end வேலையா இருந்தாலும் it's not that you have to tell them come to church. That's not how you start. That's something that you want to see. But as they have said, just love Jesus and love people. I know it can sound very simple, but it's very hard wherever you are established. அதனால சொல்றதுக்கு சில நேரத்துல ஈஸியா இருந்தாலும் I think we've got to stick to that principle. அந்த நியமனங்களை நாங்க கைப்பற்றுவது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப அவசியமா இருக்குது. Then I think I would like to talk about friendship. Okay, both of you have been friends for a long time, and especially godly friendship. அதாவது சபைகளுக்குள்ள இல்லாவிட்டால் கிறிஸ்தவ நண்பர்கள் நமக்கு இருக்கிறபடினாலே how has that helped? Both of you can share stories. I know I've already listened to a couple of them. But how has friendships, but also especially accountability, ஒருவர் அதாவது நாங்க கணக்கு ஒப்புவிக்கிறபடினால அது ஒரு பாஸ்டரா இருக்கலாம், ஒரு மென்டரா இருக்கலாம், but also friendship, how has that helped in your journey? Isaac, would you like to start?
Friends வந்து lately it's very hard to find true friends actually. Probably Keba will agree with me on certain things. And the true friend na eppadi iruknona, like especially when you're talking about Christian friendship, he should always edify you, and when you're wrong he should say, macha, this is not right, you can be always better அப்படின்னு இப்போ வந்து everybody's got the freedom of expressing themselves. இப்போ ஒன்றும் இல்லை, ஒரு சாங் போட்டா ஒரு யூடியூப்ல வந்து ஒரு 1000 கமெண்ட்ஸ் வருதுன்னா அதுல வந்து ஒரு 50 ஹேட் கமெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்குன்னா we can't be saying why you are scolding me, why you are angry at me. ஏன்னா இப்போ world is like that, anybody can talk over anybody. Did we have access to talk bad about Trump back then, about Bill Clinton? இல்ல. ஆனா இப்போ வந்து you can go to Trump's account, you can blast him if you want to. We have a choice and he is also ready to accept it. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கல்ச்சர்ல இருக்கிறோம். ஸோ இந்த டைம்ல வந்து ட்ரூ ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஷிப் வந்து அண்ட் கிரைஸ்ட் சென்டர்ட் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஷிப் வில் பி ஆல்வேஸ் குட். எனக்கு ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஷிப்னு அந்த வார்த்தை கேட்டாலே எடிஃபைங்கிற வேர்ட் தான் வரும். எடிஃபைங்னா நம்மளுடைய வீக்னஸ் எல்லாம் கவர் அப் பண்ணும், நம்ம எங்கெல்லாம் விழுகிறோமோ அங்கெல்லாம் கையை தூக்கி விடணும். அண்ட் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து எப்பவுமே வீக்னஸ் ஃபைன் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, அந்த வீக்னஸ்க்கு ஸ்ட்ரென்த்தா இருப்பாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் வந்தா கிறிஸ்டியன் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் அது ரொம்ப ரேரான ஒரு இது. I'll tell few things about Keba. See, நான் வந்து இந்த கெரியர் ஆரம்பிச்சப்ப கூட Keba has actually told a lot of people, guys, just try out Isaac. He's a new keyboard player. He's a new producer. Actually, எனக்கு நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் வந்ததே through Keba தான். I have to say this. ஏன்னா நிறைய பேர் என்கிட்ட வந்து சொல்லியிருக்கிறாங்க, Keba only suggested your name. I'll feel, will I do that? Will I genuinely do that? Will I encourage someone else like with a whole heart? நான் இதை பண்ணுவேனா? So that is what I have learned from a good friendship. Friendship is edifying. Friendship is giving you shoulders when someone is falling down, and friendship is just lifting you up in every area. Let it be your personal area, let it be your professional area or spiritual area. அதுதான் we are accountable. Like you said, friendship accountability in sono, like for a mentor, I always say Keba is a mentor. Like professionally, I have learned a lot of things from him. Adu mari mentors வந்து we can always find in lot of people. So as an accountability எப்படின்னா அவங்களுடைய ஷோல்டர்ஸும் அவங்களுடைய ஸ்ட்ரெங்த்தும் வந்து it's definitely needed for every Christian, and that too Christian friendship will be like very good for everyone. Yeah, the game.
Thank you. நீங்க பேசுறத கேட்டுட்டே இருக்கலாம். I think அதாவது I think one of the things that Isaac is reminding us is friendship is edification. Okay?
Yeah.
அதாவது நம்ம ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் சூஸ் பண்ற நேரமும் அதே நேரத்துல நாம மற்றவங்களுக்கு ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸா இருக்கிற நேரம் அவங்களும் இதே தான் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. We've got to cover their weaknesses but also confront them when they kind of go off. Keba, would you like to share how friendship?
Yeah, so now and then I met Isaac during college days when we were competing in band times. From there to now, Isaac's growth has been insane, incredible. I'm actually a huge fan of Isaac. I'm a huge fan. I've learned so much from just watching him and just these kuti musical ideas, they are very mature ideas that come after years of experience, and for some people it never comes, but those ideas Isaac has. So it's been very 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 useful for me. But Isaac, his growth and just how his friendship and everything, it's just been amazing. See, we have all these times of seriousness where we can be like this, but then we also have times where we can just sit, chill and enjoy, play some games and eat some good food, and we live normal lives. We are just like everybody else. We are normal people, and that's what something we should just I want to remind everybody. We are normal people just like everybody else, and we rely completely on God's strength for everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So before going to our final question on our script, I would like to just kind of ask some icebreaker questions. Some people are curious. Okay, if you had to choose between Keba, this is for you. If you had to choose between Mumbai and Chennai, who would you go to?
I'm Chennai. Chennai has become home for me. I was born and brought up in Dubai, and I came to Chennai. But Chennai has become so close to my heart. Chennai will always be home for me.
Okay, there you go. Keba is Chennai. Who do you, Keba, sorry, Isaac, this is for you.
Yeah.
If you had to choose between Dhoni and Sachin?
Definitely Dhoni, because he's from CSK. I've been a big fan of Dhoni, because coming from Ranchi is not a joke. Coming from Mumbai, even Sachin is great. I have no words to talk about Sachin also. But what inspires me is that coming from a village where you can't even talk in English and you're leading a country to get a World Cup, that is leadership. That is inspiration for everybody, and not for an Indian, for anyone around the world. So I'm a big Dhoni fan.
Super. You can be biased, Keba. You can be biased. Doesn't matter.
I'm a Dhoni fan, so it's
Yeah. If you had a chance either to attend a Planet Shakers conference or a Bethel conference, Keba, which would you go?
I've been to Planet Shakers, so I know how it is. So I want to go to a Bethel conference. I want to see what it's like.
Okay. That's a good move. Isaac, if you hadn't chosen music as your career, what would be another option, or what would you have chosen other than music?
I would have definitely been in some IT field, bro, because I did engineering. So actually, எனக்கு வாழ்க்கையில ஆசைன்னு வந்ததே ஆஃப்டர் மியூசிக் தான். அது வரைக்கும் ஐ வாஸ் ஃபோர்ஸ்ட்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. எனக்கு பர்பஸே இல்லை. லைக் யூ செட், I didn't have a purpose. I just want to survive in this world. I just want to earn money through some source. So எனக்கு பேஷன் வந்ததே only after getting to know that music will be my everything. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் I want to get into musicனே இருந்துச்சு. Otherwise I was just going by the wind. காத்தெல்லாம் எப்படி அடிக்குதோ அதுபடி போயிட்டு இருந்தேன். So probably I would have been an IT guy.
Okay. Keba, if you had to speak to an 18-year-old Keba, what would you say?
I will tell him, why did you start growing your hair? It's the biggest mistake you ever made. Because it's so hard to maintain it, and it's just it's a disaster. My hair, I mean, I've spent more money maintaining my hair than anything else, so I would have not
Is there a specific reason why you started it? Other than
yeah, there's see, I think as a guitarist, everybody goes through a very rock phase in their life, and when you play a lot of rock music, you want to become like a rock star, and the first attribute for a rock star would be to have long hair. So I just started growing it, and it's been with me all these years. It's become a part of my identity, but now I'm just losing all my hair. It's becoming white, so it's just so hard. So if I met a younger Keba, I'd just tell him, don't grow your hair.
So here's our final question, and it is about a church, and especially we would like you to talk about how important it is to be connected to the local body. அதாவது ஒரு சபைக்கு போவது, அதே நேரத்துல அங்கு பங்கு வகிப்பது எவ்வளவு முக்கியம். நம்ம என்னதான் உலகத்துல அதே நேரத்துல கர்த்தர் நம்மளை ஆசீர்வதிச்சு எவ்வளவு உயர்வுக்கு போனாலும் ஒரு சபையுடைய கனெக்ஷன், அதுல நமக்கு இருக்கிற இன்வால்வ்மெண்ட் எவ்வளவு முக்கியம் என்பதை Keba, can you start? And I've got a little different question to Isaac.
So I think being part of a local church is very, very important. Adu is a real important thing, because that's where you grow, that's where you meet people, that's where you interact with people. There's no point living a Christian life if you're just going to live it just by yourself, solitary. Christian life is about interacting with people and meeting other people. So being connected to a church is important. Being connected to godly friends is important, because godly friends will speak into your life. And it's also important to be committed to a local church, because that's where you grow, that's where you find that's where you almost find a home, so I think it's also very important to be submissive to leadership. And lately the culture among a lot of young people is to go from church to church, and always in search for the perfect church. There is no perfect church. Exactly. The perfect church will happen when Jesus comes to take his church home. That's the perfect church.
Yeah.
So youngsters get very offended when the pastor says something. Immediately take offense. Bye, pastor, I'm going to the next church. But I have seen a great blessing in being rooted to a church. There is great blessing in being rooted to church and being under leadership. So that is something I'd like to encourage young people to do.
Very true. Very true.
Thank you. So guys, there is no perfect church until Jesus comes. Okay, we're going to have issues, different opinions, different perspectives. Okay, so that's again a good reminder. Isaac, now உங்கள்ட்ட கேட்க விரும்புற கேள்வி என்னன்னா,
Yes.
How is our contribution to the church, not just attending, a service. I think you are, involved in preaching, you worship lead. So how important is it to, contribute, not just musically, if you are talented that way, but in a general sense, how important is it for a young person to contribute to the church ministry in general?
Okay, we read that Jesus is the head of a body and we are the body parts. Similarly, the pastor will be the head of the church and we are definitely the body parts of the church. Church வந்து it is a spiritual family. எப்படி நமக்கு physical family இருக்கோ, blood lineல நமக்கு family இருக்கோ, அதே மாதிரி spiritual family. So we are always connected. We have to be connected with the church. நான் churchன்னு சொல்றப்போ நிறைய பேர் சொல்லுவாங்க we are the churchன்னு. நான் அந்த டாபிக்ஸ் வரல. I mean like congregational church, நம்ம எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து வர்ஷிப் பண்றது, அப்புறம் பாஸ்டர் கீழே இருக்கிறது. கேபா சொன்ன ஒரு வார்த்தை எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருந்துச்சு. என்னன்னா, அந்த ஸ்பிரிட் ஆஃப் அஃபென்ஸ் வந்து இப்போ பயங்கரமா இருக்கு. people are getting offended for everything. So spirit of offense வந்து பயங்கரமா இருக்கு. அது வந்து இப்ப எல்லாரையும் ரொம்ப யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் ரொம்ப grip பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு. Don't do thisனால உடனே they get offended and they go to another church. But when God puts someone in one church, we are under someone's mentorship வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியம். நம்ம பெர்ஃபெக்ட் சர்ச்சும் பார்க்க முடியாது, பெர்ஃபெக்ட் பாஸ்டரையும் பார்க்க முடியாது. we can't be searching for a perfect pastor. அவ்வளவுதான். If God connects us to one church and one pastor, we have to learn under him, because God will definitely teach a lot of things through them. So வந்து being involved in a church வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியம். இப்போ எப்படி நம்ம ஃபேமிலியில நம்ம எல்லா வேலையும் செய்யறோமோ, like it's not just mom who cooks, நம்ம வந்து அம்மாக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்றோம், அப்பாக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்றோம், அதே மாதிரி it's a responsibility of every Christian to be involved in a church. ஏன்னா கால் கூட அதுதான். It's not just a pastor's call, it's a call for everyone to tell the gospel. அதே மாதிரி சர்ச்ல ரூட்டடா இருந்து சர்ச்சோட ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ்ல நம்ம செய்யும் பொழுது God will definitely honor us. அதுக்கு வந்து பெர்ஃபெக்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் கேபா தான். கேபா வந்து அடிக்கடி நிறைய இடத்துல அந்த டெஸ்டிமோனி சொல்லுவான். நான் வந்து இந்துஸ்தான் காலேஜ்ல படிச்சப்போ I was just playing in church and everybody who called me for sessions and all, they called me from church தான். So church becomes a big source of blessing, not just musically, not just materialistically, but ஒரு நல்ல பொண்ணு கூட கிடைப்பா சர்ச்ல, இல்லைன்னா ஒரு நல்ல இன்லாஸ் கிடைப்பாங்க. எவ்ரிதிங் இட்ஸ் a holistic thing. It's not just profession or materialistic thing. So definitely we have to be associated with church and have to be serving in the church. That's very important.
Thank you both of you. Before we go to our Q&A, I think நான் இதை உங்களுக்கு அதாவது தெரியப்படுத்த விரும்புறேன். என்னன்னா, நம்முடைய நோக்கம் என்னன்னா, பரிபூர்ணமான ஒரு முழுமையான சீசத்துவத்தை நம்ம பார்க்கணும். அதாவது if you just had followed our question, your commitment personally to Jesus, okay, we've discussed about it. உங்களுடைய தனிப்பட்ட உறவு அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். உங்களுடைய ஃபேமிலியுடைய கமிட்மெண்ட், அவங்களுடைய assurance அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அடுத்தது in your workplace, how you share about Jesus, and then how you go about doing his mission. அப்புறம் உங்களுடைய involvement to the church, that is also very important. So Q&A, first question to Keba. So they're asking, especially Tamil Sri Lankan Christian community or music artist. It's not a big platform. Okay, it's not a big. What do I say? Yes, it's not a big platform. What are some of the things that you would advise for a young person, a Christian person? Things. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think இப்போ வந்து all the tools are provided to us. All the tools, all the resources in this day and age are provided to us. We really don't have to go back in the day when I was growing up. There was no YouTube. Even to learn music was very hard. இப்போ all the tools you have. If you want to learn music, if you want to produce music, all the tools are there online. And everybody will ask, there's no marketing company, there's no label. I think eventually you can put out your music on YouTube, and there is a certain amount of there's a certain way to promote your music. So if you feel like you want to grow as an artist, first of all, it's good to be connected with other artists so you know what's happening in the industry. We have a pretty well developed Tamil industry here, so we know how it works. I don't know how it is in Sri Lanka, but YouTube is a very good way to put your song out, and then you get it on to all digital platforms. Um, I think maybe Isaac also can share more on this. I mean, how does an
Yeah,
artist, especially in the Sri Lankan perspective?
Sri Lanka, yeah.
Yeah. We've been seeing a lot of good stuff coming from Sri Lanka lately. There were always good songs that were produced Sri Lanka. நம்ம சர்ச்சில் பாடுற நிறைய பாட்டு ஸ்ரீலங்கன் சாங்ஸ். அது லேட்டர் ஆன் தான் எனக்கு தெரிய வந்துச்சு. There were amazing songwriters in Sri Lanka. இப்போ வந்து நிறைய பேர் good music like Jebi Israel did one சிறுமையும் எளிமையும். That's a super famous song. எல்லா சர்ச்சிலையும் பாடுறாங்க. அதே மாதிரி நெஹமியா ராஜர், டு நேம் a few. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச சில பேர் நான் சொல்றேன். நெஹமியா ராஜர், அப்புறம் ஜெருஷன் ஆமோஸ். So these guys are doing fantastic job. But my only thing is that we have to கேபா சொன்ன மாதிரி நமக்கு எல்லா டேலண்ட் இருக்கு, நல்ல வாய்ஸ் இருக்கு, நல்ல இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு. பட் த மோர் வி லிசன் டு அ லாட் ஆஃப் குட் ஸ்டஃப் அண்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் கம்பேரிங் our product with what Bethel is doing and Planet Shakers are doing, நம்ம அவங்க கிட்ட போக ட்ரை பண்ணலாம். See, when we compare, இப்ப நானும் கேபாவும் மாத்தி கம்பேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம்னா we'll be stuck in this Tamil Nadu level. When our height is like comparing our music with Planet Shakers and Bethel, அவங்களோட கம்பேர் பண்றப்போ நமக்கு தெரியும் நம்ம நல்லா தான் பாடுறோம், நல்லா தான் வாசிக்கிறோம், ஆனா என்னமோ ஹெட்போன்ஸ்ல கேட்க நல்லா இல்லையே அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு trying to come closer to that sound. அந்த ஏரியால if we all working togetherனா ஸ்ரீலங்கால இருந்து, because Sri Lanka's got great songwriters, great singers, இன்னும் குவாலிட்டியான லைக் பிளாட்ஃபார்முக்கு குறைச்சலே இல்லை. we have YouTube, iTunes and Spotify. ஆனா இது பண்ணா we can all improve to be like world class music producers and songwriters.
Okay. Thank you. I think that is something that we can take home. அதாவது நம்ம பெரிய பிளாட்ஃபார்ம்ஸ் எதிர்பார்க்க தேவையில்ல. ஆரம்பத்துல நம்ம யூடியூபே, I think that is more than enough for us to begin with. Yeah. And Keba, this is for you. As you are, as you have already reached many heights, you obviously are learning every day. You are learning, or you are used to certain things that you do every day, so that you are updated. So what are some of the things that you would do on a daily basis to update your knowledge about music or what's happening out there? As Isaac already said, our exposure is very important. Okay, listening to different genres or so on. So how would you discipline yourself to keep learning?
Okay. See, this is one thing that I've learned from just watching AR Rahman sir. I've got, even last year when I went to his studio, he's somebody who's achieved everything. But actually, you all are saying that you've reached something, you've achieved something. I have achieved nothing. That's the first thing I want to say. Second thing is, when I go to his studio, he's achieved. Now Rahman sir has achieved something. So when you see all the Grammys, you see all the Oscars, everything you see there. But he still sits on this new gadget that he buys. He's fiddling, he's trying to get something new, trying to produce a new sound. If someone like him is always searching, how can I better myself? How can I do something new? If somebody like him can do that, how much more should I? So I'm always on the lookout for new gear, looking out for new updates. I'm constantly trying to work on my skill. Constant. You have to put the hard work, you have to put effort. Without hard work, without effort, no results. I'm always trying to better my skill, and I'm always trying to connect myself with people who are better than me, so that I can always learn from them. So these are some of the basic things I do.
Okay. Thank you. So moving on to the next question, Isaac, this is for you. The question that is asking is, do you all have disciples? Do you have disciples? And if you do, how do you take time to mentor them? Is there a group that you lead? Is there not necessarily a discipleship group, but in ways that you help younger people or younger artists. Isaac, would you like to?
Yeah. Later on, I started investing some time with the youngsters. நான் ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த அன்லேர்னிங் ப்ராசஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். அண்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் காட் வந்து இப்போ நான் நிறைய தப்பா காடை புரிஞ்சிருந்திருந்தேன். ஐ ஆல்வேஸ் தாட் காட் வாஸ் அ டாஸ்க் மாஸ்டர். நான் வந்து என்னுடைய பிடி சார் எப்ப பாக்குறேனோ ஐ தாட் காட் வாஸ் லைக் மை பிடி சார், ஆல்வேஸ் ஹோல்டிங் அ கேன் அண்ட் ட்ரைங் டு வேக் மீ. என்னன்னா அவரே என்ன இந்த வேர்ல்டுல போட சொல்லுவாராம், 150 ரூல்ஸ் கொடுப்பாராம். அந்த 150 ரூல்ஸ் நான் ஃபாலோ பண்ணலன்னா எனக்கு ஹெல்ல ரெடியா வச்சிருப்பாராம். ஸோ திஸ் திங் வாஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் ரன்னிங் இன் மை மைண்ட், காட் வித் அ கேன். ஸோ ஆனா லேட்டர் ஆன் ஐ ஃபவுண்ட் தட் காட் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் லவ். அவருடைய லவ் தான் எல்லா ஏரியாலையும் காட்டணும்னு நினைக்கிறாரு, ஆனா நம்ம லவ் புரிஞ்சுக்கிறது இல்ல. ஸோ ஐ வாண்ட் டு ஹாவ் திஸ் ஒன் டிசைபிள்ஷிப். ஆக்சுவலா இது வந்து எனக்கு எப்படி வந்துச்சுன்னா, once when I came with my friend David Franklin to Sri Lanka, I met Pastor Naresh there. Pastor Naresh, probably you might be knowing. So he took me out for dinner. அப்போ பேசினாரு, one-on-one relationship வந்து எவ்வளவு முக்கியம். Even though you are pastoring a big church, even though you are having a lot of people that you can talk to who can listen to your voice, but அந்த one-on-one relationship is actually you showing love. சும்மா வெறும் வாய் பேச்சு மட்டும் கிடையாது, God is love னு சொல்றது மட்டும் கிடையாது. When you're doing this one-on-one thing, you are giving one hug, you are buying him a meal, you're taking him for a movie. ஸோ அந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்பை வந்து எப்படின்னா, இப்போ காட் த ஃபாதர்னா நமக்கு எப்படி தெரியுது, நம்ம அப்பாவோட கம்பேர் பண்றோம். இஃப் ஆ ஃபாதர் இன் ஹெவன்னா உடனே ஆ ஃபாதர்னா எப்படி இருப்பாங்க, நம்ம அப்பா நம்ம கிட்ட எப்படி இருக்காரு, ஸோ அதே மாதிரிதான் நம்ம மேல இருக்க அப்பாவும் அப்படி இருப்பாங்க அப்படின்னு. ஸோ காட் வாண்டட் டு ரிவீல் ஹிம்செல்ஃப் டு தி த்ரீ with the things that is around us. அதனாலதான் ஃபாதர்னு சொல்றாரு. So when we start to do this one-on-one discipleship, when we started to buy them a meal, so they'll have a different picture of God. God வந்து டாஸ்க் மாஸ்டரா அப்ப நான் பார்த்த மாதிரி பார்க்க மாட்டாங்க. So you can save a lot of time. You can actually worship God with boldness. You can go to church with a happy face. ஐயோ சண்டே வந்து மூவி பார்க்க முடியலையே, கிரிக்கெட் ஆட முடியலையே, சர்ச் கூட்டு போறாங்களே, இந்த மாதிரி சேட் ஃபேஸோட போக மாட்டோம். when we know that God is full of love. So on the one-on-one, like you said, discipleship is like very, very important blessing.
Thank you. So last two questions. We're going to end with this. Keba, is there any new projects that we have to look forward to?
I'm working on a lot of projects right now. Actually, it's a lot of songs. Nothing specific. I don't know how to say, okay, because
things that we can,
I mean, I've played a lot of songs for Isaac that are yet to release. I've done a song with Benny Joshua that's releasing this weekend. But a lot of songs. I can just say a lot of songs on the way.
Yeah. So I think we've had a great time. I want to speak on behalf of all of them, and thank both of you for your time and taking time off your schedule and being with us and sharing your hearts out and your experience. அதனால விசேஷமாக உங்களுக்கு நான் ஒரு நல்ல செய்தி என்னன்னா, we are planning, YEA is planning to host them next year. We are planning to bring them down and do an extended kind of a workshop, music workshop. Again, this is rooted to our vision, holistic discipleship. So it would not just be music, but it will be more than that, making an impact in our own societies. அதனால அடுத்த வருஷம் நாங்க அதாவது பிளான் பண்ணி கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். இன்னும் தீர்மானங்கள் அதாவது என்ன கன்ஃபார்ம் இல்ல, அப்படி போடலாம். பட் we are expecting to bring them down. அவங்கள அடுத்த வருஷம் இங்க ஒரு ஒர்க் ஷாப்புக்கு கொண்டு வரதுக்கு. So thank you on behalf of all of us. We just want to say thank you, and we pray that God will continue to use both of you in the way that God is using you. And something special that I personally want to say is apart from your skill, the talent and the experience, one of the best things about both of you is the way your commitment to Jesus. That is why all of us are here right now. Okay, and that you are godly and that you are humble. So we want to thank both of you for that commitment, and we just want to celebrate that. அதை நாங்க ரொம்ப அதிகமா கொண்டாட விரும்புறோம் from Sri Lankan church. So final things about NCEASL and YEA. Today we are actually releasing இன்றைக்கு எங்களுடைய magazine release ஆயிருக்குது 8 o'clock flip it ன்னு சொல்லி. So you can have your media copy on FB. நீங்க அதை பெற்றுக்கொள்ளலாம். அதனால அதுலயும் எங்களுடைய பிளான்ஸ் அதிகமான காரியங்களை குறித்து நாங்க அதுல தெரியப்படுத்தியிருக்கிறோம். அதே நேரத்துல இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் பேஜ் நம்முடைய பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் பான்கடை என்று சொல்லுகிறதான பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் very very Sri Lankan. So in that we are also discussing about issues about society, issues about law, issues about politics, issues about different things. Okay, so we hope that you will find that link and that it will help you to be connected with us. So thank you for all of you, and we would like to close in. Thank you. Yes, we've got 2 minutes. Okay, if there's anything that you want to share, Keba and Isaac, as we close, something that you want to share in general.
I just want to thank you for inviting us to be a part of this. I think it's important to have these very candid, casual conversations where people get to know that we are just regular human beings. We are not some superhuman, and we are just like each one of you there. And I just want to say that we are so excited about what you guys are planning, and I think it's going to be useful to a lot of people. Just to come and share our hearts out and maybe show something that we've learned along this journey, some skills that we can share something along with you. So we're really excited about that as well.
Thank you. Isaac?
Yeah, blessing. Like Keba said, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share our hearts, and thank you for recognizing us. I was like a little surprised when there are a lot of pastors and worship leaders out here, but you called us to talk to the youngsters, and we felt very responsible by this invitation. And like you said, we are looking forward for coming down to Sri Lanka and sharing our hearts, and not necessarily just music, about life, because Christ have to be relatable on everyday life, because that's why a lot of guys are becoming atheists, because they feel Christ is not relatable in these days. But Christ is very, very true, and he's very relatable to our culture and to our everyday life. And we can have a candid and open talk like this also when we meet in Sri Lanka. Thanks again for the wonderful opportunity, guys.
Super. Thanks again. So see you all soon. God bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.